Faithfully, my eyes are on you. They're always on you. Time is almost up. It's almost time for us to go now, go now. But we gotta finish up this final round. Are you ready to prevail now? Meditate on all the promises he has for you. Hold tight to the covenant and standing true. You've got the victory. Hide under the shadow of his wings and say, Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I am waiting. I am waiting. I am waiting. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I am waiting. I am waiting. I am waiting. I will always wait on you, even when the waves get high. Gold is tried by fire and silver is refined. I'm trusting in your promise and I'm gonna make it through these times. I'll keep on waiting on you. I'm waiting patiently on your deliverance. You haven't forgotten. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I am waiting. I am waiting. I am waiting. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I am waiting. I am waiting. I am waiting. Faithfully, my eyes are on you. Faithfully, my eyes are on you. I ain't looking to the left or to the right. I ain't following you. You are always on my mind. Faithfully, faithfully, I will follow you and lead me. Wherever you go, I will go too. 'Cause my eyes are always fixed on you.
Shalom, family. All praises to the Most High Yah for His goodness and His mercy towards us. It is a privilege, always a privilege, to be able to have the name of Yah on our lips constantly. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, who abides under the shadow of El Shaddai, he is saying of Yahweh, my refuge and my stronghold, my Alua, in whom I trust. That's Tehillim 91, verse 1 through 2. Again, it is a privilege to be alive this day. It is an even greater honor to have been drawn out by Yah. It is a privilege, truly it is, to be able to say that we know the name of our Maker and to be able to wake up each and every single day knowing that we're not still completely in a slumber. Abba deserves all the praise, all the honor, and all the esteem. So let us begin in Palal. Abba, we come before you and we thank you for all that you have done for us. May your name be esteemed. May your name be lifted high. May your name be magnified. Your name is above every name, high and lifted up in majesty, in splendor, in wonder, in might, in everything that is Abba Yah. You are worthy to be praised. I ask that you will be with each and every single one of us tonight as we are sharing what it is that you have placed in me to share. And I ask, Father, that you will allow your people to hear and that all offense will be righteous offense, leading to righteous correction, And Abba Yah, let it be that you work out in our lives according to your will, because we know that the time is short and your sheep know your voice and will follow and will hear. Thank you, Baba, for your goodness, your mercy, for who you are and what you've done. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, so be it and be it so. So today's message is called The Clic Will Make You Sick. The Clic will make you sick. I'll give a little disclaimer. As a people, we kind of like the crowd, and it's not always a bad thing. We are a communal people, actually, and Yah never created us to be alone. But we have been conditioned to like community more sometimes than we love isolation with Yah. And this is what we're going to be speaking about today. Abba has placed this in my chest, and he has bound it up to my bones for several weeks now. And with great ardor and fire in these bones do I share this word. Please open your ears and silence the noise to make sure that you can hear what I am saying and not what I am not saying. What I am saying is important. Uniformity is a dangerous thing if it is not 100% unified by Yah. Uniformity is a dangerous thing if it is not 100% unified by Yah. There is a great danger in following the crowd and rejecting Yah's isolation. Again, we are a communal people. We are a people that, they say we come from a village, or it takes a village to raise a child or to raise a people. We are that. We are a communal people. But the problem is we have been taken out of our community where Yah dwelt with us, and we've been placed and scattered everywhere. So a lot of our community that we have is not even Yah-given community in the sense of culture. It's things that we've adapted. It's things that we've taken from others and we've made it our own. And just because we've made it our own doesn't mean that it comes from Yah. We have to keep it 100. Our community is and how it should be. Our culture and our identity should be based solely on how Yah had originally intended for us to be. And this is the reason why Yah has taken so many of us, all of the ones that Yah has awakened. I'm not speaking about those who have awakened themselves or who were awakened by somebody who came up to them and said, hey, you're an Israelite? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people that Yah specifically woke up in his own way at his own time and called them out of religion, called them out of rebellion, called them out of lawlessness. Yah has placed everyone he has called into isolation. And this is a fact. If you come out too soon of the isolation, there is danger. Again, uniformity is a dangerous thing if it is not 100% unified by Yah. If the uniform doesn't come from Yah, then it is dangerous. There is a great danger in following the crowd and rejecting Yah's isolation. If you come out of Yah's isolation too soon, then you are not immune. You have not built up your immunity. You have no protection and you are vulnerable. Or the protection you have is not 100% strong yet. And you become vulnerable. You become vulnerable to viruses, to contaminants, to infections, bacterial growth, and complete host takeover. Now you're probably thinking, what is this lady talking about? What is this girl saying? Viruses, contaminants, infections, bacterial growth, host takeover. What is that? Well, remember, before Yah revealed any great matter to any of us, before Yah revealed anything to any of us, before he gave us the fullness of anything, he brought us out of something. He brought us through something. He brought us through the deception, and he brought us out of religion. He brought us out of chaos. He brought us out of under the veil. He took us out of under the blanket. Right? So he brought us out of somewhere where we could not stay, right? And there is not any one person, not one person that Abba Yah has drawn out to himself that is left in the company of many. I can say this from my own personal experience. There is not one person that Yah himself, if Yah is the one who brought you out, then you at one point or another went through some kind of an isolation where you felt that you were the only person who knew this truth. You were the only person. Everybody you'd go to share it with looked at you like you was crazy. Everybody that you wanted to have company with, your ruach just couldn't jive with that person. This is important because this was Yah given, and it was a gift. And I don't think that we emphasize on this gift enough. We look at it sometimes as something that is a burden. We look at it like something that, oh man, I wish that I didn't have this. But if you have it and you've gone through it, it is a barakah. It is a blessing that Yah has taken the veil from your eyes and he brought you out and put you someplace by yourself. He drew you out of the waters. He drew you out of the nations. He drew you out of chaos. He drew you out of everything you knew. And he brought you into a place where you stood by yourself with just you and him. And if you have never experienced deep isolation, silence, and the deep valley loneliness, like a deep valley loneliness, then I encourage you to re-examine your relationship with the Most High, because it is possible that you are not in his will or you were never called by him. Because everybody who is called by Yah goes through some kind of an isolation, some kind of loneliness, some kind of silence, some kind of deep valley of loneliness. You know, sadly, we are a people of habit. We are a people of habit, right? So for a lot of us, when we woke up, we felt Yah saying, okay, no, you can't go to church no more, for those of us who grew up in the church, or for those of us who would go to family reunions and, you know, we would go celebrate Christmas or Thanksgiving or Easter. You know, that was part of the one of the hardest parts of our awakening. You know, not being able to gather with family, not being able to go to church, not being able to literally participate with other people. It was very hard for us. And you probably thought, well, I can listen to this voice of Yah and still be able to go to church, right? But then Yah said no. And, you know, again, sadly, we are a people of habit. Not just us Israelites, but everybody. We are a people of habit. We are creatures of habit, customs, traditions, repeated practices. We are a creatures of habit. We do things that are based on habit and physical urges as opposed to the Ruach leading us. And this is something that I need us to make sure that we comprehend, because even now, this is a plague in us that we have to have rooted out. It must be rooted out, because without it being rooted out, there is no growth. There can be no advancement. And you cannot be that jewel, that rare jewel that Yah is looking for. You just won't be it until we're able to root out habit and it be solely Ruach leading, right? A lot of times, the things that we do, the things that we say, the places we go are based on habit and physical urges as opposed to the Ruach leading. And oftentimes, we conflate the two. And this is something that I see very often, and things that I was a victim of in my early stages of my walk with Yah, where sometimes, because I would have an urge of habit and it didn't seem like anything that was wrong or evil or wicked or contrary to the Most High Yah, I would say, I feel the Ruach saying. I feel the Ruach saying, or I believe the Ruach is saying this, or the Ruach is saying that. And the Ruach wasn't saying nothing. It was our own personal urge, or our own personal, how do you say, suspicions, or our own personal feelings. And because the urge is so strong, because we're not used to recognizing Yah's voice, we think that our urge is Yah's leading. And it is not. It is you. It is your flesh. We conflate the two, and we still do it to this day. And if you say you don't, then you are not being honest. Right? When our physical urges seem to fall in alignment with Yah leading, we don't understand that it is Yah's providence as opposed to your obedience to Yah. Like, so I'm gonna give an example of what I mean by this. So sometimes we think that because things are going, like we are being fed, we are growing, we are prospering in something, we think sometimes, wow, this is Yah's will. We are doing Yah's will. We are walking in Yah's will because I am blessed in this way. The Most High Yah is allowing me to prosper in this, or I feel blessed in this area, or I feel like things are really good for me here. But you don't understand that you are in disobedience to Yah, but because of Yah's providence, He hasn't chastised you yet. He's allowing you to go through those motions, and still He doesn't take away His covering from you entirely, right? It is so important that we understand this, that Yah's providence oftentimes is what protects us when we are in rebellion. And if you don't recognize Yah's providence, then you will think that you are walking in alignment to Yah when you are not. Now, what does providence and obedience to Yah have to do with anything? Well, Yah's providence is not always based on your righteous behavior. It has to do with Yah's mercies and His kindness towards us. Yah's providence is not always based on your righteous behavior. It has to do with Yah's mercies and His kindness towards us. It reminds me of the verse where it says, even if we are not trustworthy, Yah remains trustworthy, for it is impossible for Him to deny Himself. That is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 13. But what does Yah's providence have to do with anything, or righteous behavior, or obedience? What does this have to do with anything? Listen closely. Many of us, Yah has called to spend time with Him in isolation and total dependency on Him. But because we are creatures of habit, and because we are used to company or structure, some kind of formality, we seek out what appeases our flesh, right? And what appeases our flesh sometimes is a large friend group is a clique, as opposed to walking one-on-one in the garden with Yah, which is the isolation that brings about transformation. This is so important that we understand this, that we understand this, that we comprehend this. I'm going to elaborate on this more, but I will repeat what I have said. Many of us, Yah has called to spend time with Him in isolation and total dependency on Him. Yah wants us to be the ones who run to Him first before anybody, before anything. When we are feeling lonely, we don't feel lonely because He is with us. We have depended solely on His company. It should be that we feel lonely when we are with others, but when we are spending one-on-one time with Yah, we should feel as if we have the best company in the world. And a lot of us, because we haven't had this deep fellowship with Yah, having fellowship with Him alone sometimes feels too lonely for us. But this is not how it should be, because our dependency on company must be based on our relationship with Yah first. It has to be Yah and us first. Yah and us first always. And then everybody else and their company comes second. And I will explain what I mean by this. But I'll say it again. Many of us, Yah has called to spend time with Him in isolation and total dependency. But because we are used to company and structure and some kind of formality, we seek out what appeases our flesh, which is the click, as opposed to walking one-on-one with Yah in the garden, which is the isolation. And because you see that you are fed in the click, you think that you are being obedient to Yah. This is what I was talking about when I said Yah's providence and you're in your disobedience, right? Sometimes we think that because we are okay or we feel comfortable in a situation, Yah is pleased 100%. But it's His providence that He has given you. It is His providence that you are experiencing, not the barakas of your obedience, because you're not being obedient. You are following your flesh. But even in our unfaithfulness, Yah remains faithful. So sometimes we see that Yah is saying, go into the secret place, go into isolation, close yourself up for a time. And you're just like, but Yah, like I really want some friends, I want company. I want people around me. I feel lonely. And Yah says, I know that. But learn to depend on my company first. Because some of us are too little to go out. We are too young to go out. We are not ready. And when you go out prematurely, you find a company or you find a group or you find a clique or you find friends or you find people who seem like-minded than you. And they are, and they could be like-minded than you. And you start to be fed. And you start to walk with them. And you start to feel like you're growing and you say, wow, Abba Yah, thank you for bringing me into this place. Thank you for what you have done. Thank you for the company. Because you see yourself growing and you think you are in obedience to Yah's will. But in reality, the only thing that is for a fact keeping you fed is Yah's providence. It is Yah's providence keeping you fed, not the company that you have found. And this is Yah's protection and care over you. This is so important, guys, that we understand this. Yah has not completely let you go, even when you run away from the isolation. His providence is still over you, but there's still danger in not being able to respect the isolation. There is danger in not being able to respect Yah's company. There is danger in not being able to depend on Yah and Yah alone. Again, if we are not trustworthy, he remains trustworthy. It is impossible for him to deny himself. 2 Timothy 2:13. So many of us have run away from Yah. You don't even know it because you feel like you're being fed by all the friends that you have, by all the company you have, by all the noise you hear. But what you've done is run away from intimacy with the Most High Yah, and you have run towards the assembly. You have run towards the multitude. You have run towards the clique. And this is a problem. This is dangerous. And I'll tell you why if you keep on listening. We have prioritized company with others and diminished isolation with Yah. I know in the beginning of my awakening with Yah, I was so used to going to church all the time that when it was time to go, I was just like, Abba, people are, gonna think that I've completely rejected you or that I don't care about you. But Yah spoke to me. I can tell you, I am a witness that you can hear Yah. I have heard Yah speak to me. I have heard his voice speak to me. I have heard him say things to me that I was literally scared out of my skin, and I thought that I was hearing things because I could hear so well, and it was only because I had literally closed myself off in a closet. Literally. I went into a closet in my house, a walk-in closet, and I turned it into a prayer closet, and I took off my shoes before I went inside. I did not dare go inside with shoes. I put my sackcloth in there. I put a desk in there. I put my Bible in there. And I said, Abba, Yah, this is the place where you will meet with me. And I went in that room and I never got out of that room. And I heard Yah speak to me. Yah gave me dreams in there. He gave me visions in there. But those were the times when I was isolated. And those were the times where I heard Yah in isolation, in silence, in stillness. And I spent months in that closet. I did not get out. Imagine Ezekiel when Yah said to him, close yourself. I did that. I can testify that isolating yourself in the company of Yah is a good thing. We have to prioritize company with Yah and not diminish it. But what we have done is we have prioritized company with others and diminished isolation with Yah. We have made the meeting place where the multitude is as opposed to where the waters are stilled. We don't like still waters. We want the noise. We want the crowd. But you should want to make the meeting place where the waters are stilled, not where the assembly makes noise. Because you won't be able to hear Yah there. You just won't be able to. Right? And the thing is, because many people have followed the crowd, they have been contaminated. They have been contaminated by the way of the masses. We have become like goats again, like sheep, like foolish goats. And we've acquired herd syndrome. We have acquired herd syndrome. That is what happens when you don't prioritize isolation with Yah. Right? When you don't prioritize isolation with Yah, everyone will run towards the same kind of danger. Everybody will run towards the same kind of danger. You will be led by emotions and the conformity of the masses. It is inevitable. I am telling you, it is impossible to not follow the crowd when you do not respect isolation. You could be the strongest person in the world, but I guarantee it to you that if you are a person who does not like being away by yourself, if you can't be by yourself for long, extended periods of time, that you will be one of the people that run into sinking sand. You will follow the crowd. Because everyone that loves the crowd, that loves the assembly, that loves the multitude, that loves the clique, they are in some kind of danger because they will be led by emotions and the conformity of the masses. The saddest part about this is people who are in a herd, they don't even know that they're in a herd. That's the crazy thing. It is so easy to think that you are part of something that is righteous because everyone looks like you. But I'm not talking about physical. I'm talking about mentally. Right? But just because everybody mentally looks like you, it doesn't mean that they can hear Yah. Because Yah doesn't speak to everybody. Yah doesn't speak to everybody. So it is so important that you don't have, herd syndrome, and that you don't become ignorant of the fact that you have rejected isolation and you have prioritized conformity. It's so easy to do. Now, I am not saying to disregard fellowship. I am not saying that at all. Okay? Fellowship is good. Fellowship is necessary. But fellowship with others above Yah is not right. That is not okay. That is a trap. That is a scheme of the enemy to keep you as a goat, as opposed to a sheep that hears his shepherd's voice. Right? I am not saying to disregard fellowship at all. Not at all. We have to have fellowship. But what I am saying is to prioritize isolation with Yah and to not go further than what Yah has allowed you to go. Some of us, Yah said, just go into the prayer meeting. Find a group of believers and pray with them. And what you did was you went to the prayer meeting, you went to every sermon, you went to worship service, you went full head on, running ahead of Yah. When Yah said, I did not tell you to do all of that. I didn't tell you to do all of that. All I told you to do, all I permitted you to do was to join a prayer group. That is all I told you to do. That's it. Nobody told you to do all of that. And it's so important because, if you go further than what Yah has allowed you to do, then you are in jeopardy of being sick. You are in jeopardy of being sick. I will explain to you what I mean by this. A lot of us let go of Yah's isolation to go to teachers. We're so tired of being lonely. We're so tired of being the only ones in a house cooped up by ourselves that we go looking on social media for teachers. We go looking on social media because we're so bored. Our fingers, become fidgets, right? They used to have fidget toys for people who had like ADHD, ADD. Now our fidget is not being able to be still with y'all. It's to go on the internet, go on YouTube, type up a teacher, follow him. Oh, yeah, I like what he says. Okay, let me look for somebody else now because he's done teaching his sermon. Let me go to somebody else. Oh, yeah. All right, yeah, he's done. I don't really like what he says, so I gotta look for somebody else. Oh, yeah, okay, no, I don't like this. But we're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to do that. And we all have done this, and it is something that should not have been done and should not be done at all. Because what happens is a lot of us let go of Yah's isolation and we go running towards the crowd, and the crowd leads us to false teachers. The crowd leads us to false doctrines. The crowd leads us to bad behaviors, bad attitudes, bad discernment, bad understanding, bad convictions, bad everything. It will make you sick. It will make you sick. The crowd leads you to lukewarmness. The crowd leads you to religion. The crowd leads you to what you should not have, what should not be in your midst. The crowd leads you to what Yah took you out of. And it is dangerous. You know, I'm going to say this. And in this I am boasting in Yah. I will tell you my personal testimony. Everything, I can tell you, everything that I know came from Yah. Everything that I know came from Yah. There are times when people ask me, how do you know this? I said, I'm telling you, I have spent time with Yah. I have sat with Yah for long hours. And I can tell you that if Yah is the one who teaches you, nobody can tell you what he says and what he does not say. I am telling you this with confidence. I know it. Everything that I know is because I have sat with Yah. I can tell everyone this in confidence, and I can sincerely say, just as it says in Tehillim 119:102, I have not turned aside from your right rulings, for you yourself have taught me. For you yourself have taught me. I can truly say, Tehillim 32, verse 8, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will guide you with my eye. This is what I held on to. I remember when Yah woke me up years ago, I said, Abba Yah, teach me, instruct me. Teach me and instruct me. You be my teacher. You teach me. And I created a prayer closet. Like I said, I took everything there. I put a sackcloth in there. I called it the secret place. I put a desk in there. I put my Bible in there. I would spend literally 9 to 10 hours a day in that closet. I would not go out unless I had to use the bathroom or unless I had to go make food for my kids. At that time, my sister was living with me in the house, and I said to her, please watch my kids, take care of my kids, so that I can spend time in this prayer closet. And I spent time in that prayer closet for days and hours. I slept in there. I did not move. When it said I do not go to the left or to the right, I spent hours there. Hours. I did not move. And I never opened the television. Not one time. I did not open TV. I did not open YouTube. I did not open nothing. All I did was sat down and I read. And when I would read things, I would say, and Yah's Ruach would convict me. And I would say, this was added. This is not Ruach breathed. And I would know because Yah would show me. He would teach me these things. And I spent months in a closet. I would only get out to use the bathroom or to go make food. I did not leave that closet. And what many of us we do is when Yah tells us to close ourselves up in a closet or in a space, we get tired of it. We're just like, oh, but Yah, all you got me doing is reading. But you have to have that silent time. You have to have that isolation. You need to turn everything off. Because if Yah is the one who is, how many people can truly say, Abba, I have not turned aside from your right rulings, for you yourself have taught me. Some of us have been taught by too many people. We have gone to too many teachers. We have dealt with too many people, and we have rejected the isolation with Yah. And we have turned to the crowd. And for that, many of us are sick. Many of us have some kind of a virus. Many of us have some kind of a bacteria that Yah did not allow us to have. But we wanted to be with the crowd so bad that we opened ourselves when we were still not immune. Now, many people who have spent time in isolation, they can go anywhere and nobody can turn them or change them or toss them because they have spent time with Yah alone. They didn't look to nobody for nothing. They just spent one-on-one with Yah. But some people went out prematurely. They went ahead of Yah when Yah did not say go, and we went. And now we have things in us that needs to be purged out again. Now Yah has to draw us back again, like he drew us out the first time, out of religion, out of traditions of man, out of customs, out of practices, because we went ahead of him too soon when we're not supposed to go ahead of him at all. You can only say that, Abba, I have not turned aside from your right rulings, for you yourself have taught me. We can only say that, Abba, you are the one who taught me, that everything I know is because I spent time in isolation. This could only be done in isolation, staying in the same place and keeping everything off. Then will you be unified to one another by Yah. Yah will bring the like-minded ones. There won't be division of doctrine. There won't be misunderstanding because Yah is not divided in himself. So if you sit down with Yah for hours and a long time and you never leave his place, and another person sits with Yah and listens to Yah only, I can guarantee you when you come together, you will 100% be in one accord. I guarantee it. Because Yah is the same. He will teach you his truth. He will instruct you, but we have run towards the crowd. We have run towards the crowd. And we have held on to the clique. Let's look at some people who walked alone with Yah in isolation. And again, when I say isolation, I don't mean that they were never not with people. That's not what I mean at all. It's literally taking time and going away with Yah and shutting everything off and you just being you and Yah. You're not doing nothing but being in his presence. Hanok walked with Yah. Hanok walked with Yah. When we read the book of Hanok, we see that he literally went away from everybody and he went on journeys with the Malakim that Yah sent to him. He was alone. He went into the mountains. He was alone. He walked by himself with Yah. Noah, Abraham, even Moshe, when Yah called him, he dwelt in the wilderness. And whenever he needed to hear from Yah, he would be drawn away. He would be drawn away from the crowd. He would go up to the mountain. Very rarely did Yah speak to him in the middle or in the midst of the crowd. He had to be taken away. The prophet Ezekiel had to be taken away from the crowd. He had to be closed up. Elisha was taken away. He went away to be alone with Yah. Jacob, when Yah gave him his name, he was alone. He was by himself. Joseph, he was in a prison by himself. And even our Mashiach, many a times, went away by himself. They were prepared by Yah. And in the end, they were solely dependent on Yah. Because they were prepared by Yah in isolation. And in the end, they were solely dependent on Yah. Bereshit 5:24, Genesis 5:24 says, Hanok walked faithfully with Yah, and then he was no more, for Yah took him away. Bereshit 6 verse 9 says, Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with Yah. John 10 verse 27 says, My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they know me. How many people can say that we recognize Yah's voice? Do you really recognize his voice? And if you say you 100% do, and you don't even spend hours with him, you are lying. It's a thing of chance that you're doing. It is a thing of chance. You are taking chances, and sometimes you're right and sometimes you're wrong. But we need to get to the point where we hear Yah's voice all the time, and you don't have to guess if is it me talking or is it you, Yah? You'll never have to guess. You'll never have to wonder. You'll never have to say, oops, Yah, I really thought that was you. I really thought that was... Because if you spend time in the secret place, then you will hear Yah's voice and you will always recognize it. When you wake up in the middle of the night, you won't have to say, oh man, I woke up because I had to go pee. But you will recognize Yah is speaking in the stillness of the night. Yah is speaking. But a lot of us, if we're being honest, we don't recognize Yah's voice. And if you say you do and you don't spend time in isolation, you are a liar. You are lying. And what you need is a butt whooping. We can't pretend perfection. We can't pretend knowing Yah's voice. Don't fake perfection. Don't fake fellowship with Yah either. We need the isolation to prove transformation, not fake perfection. So ask yourself, when you are sitting sometimes by yourself, can you always recognize Yah's voice? Can you always identify it? Because if you can't, you went out too early. You left too soon. You were not given permission to leave and you left. And now you can't hear him all the time as you should. And now you struggle sometimes. Now you can't filter through everything when you should be able to filter through everything all the time. If you spend time with Yah. You see, what we don't want to do is religion again, where we become bench warmers, where we go to church because my mom brought me to church every Sunday, when I pray before I eat because I've always done that since I was a kid. But we need to have deep relationship with the Most High Yah. Deep relationship, true relationship, a foundation of trust with Him that we have established in the secret place. Like, how many people are truly standing on that foundation of one-on-one relationship with Yah? Like, when we was in relationships or we had our crush, we would be on the phone all day. You couldn't even afford minutes, and you was on the phone all day sleeping with your boo thing on the phone. But who spends time with Yah? How many times? How many times? Look at how many times our Mashiach went out by himself. Mark chapter 1 verse 12. It says, and immediately the Ruach drove him into the wilderness. Immediately the Ruach of Yah drove him into the wilderness, and he was in the wilderness for 40 days. 40 days. Look at Mark 1 verse 35 when it says, and having risen very early in the morning, while still dim, he went out and went away to a lonely place. He went to a lonely place. He went by himself. He went alone. And there he prayed. What about Luke chapter 5, verse 15 through 16? It says, and the news about him was spreading even more, and large crowds were coming together to hear and to be healed by him of their sicknesses. But he was withdrawing himself to lonely places and praying. Lonely places. Lonely places to pray. What about Luke chapter 6, verse 12? And in those days it came to be that he went out to the mountain to pray and was spending the night in prayer to Yahweh. Like, do you see how many times our Mashiach went away to pray by his lonesome? Matthew 14, verse 13. Now when Yosha heard it, he withdrew from there by boat to a deserted place by himself. And when the crowds heard it, they followed him on foot from the city. By himself. What about Mark 15, verse 29? And it says, and moving from there, Yosha came towards the Sea of Galilee, and going up on the mountain, he was sitting there. You can imagine what he was doing. And Mark 14, verse 32, it says, and they came to a place called Gath Shemen, and he said to his Talmudim, sit here while I pray. Sit here while I pray. Some of us, we don't spend hours praying unless we're on a prayer line. Some of us, we don't spend hours praying unless we go on, unless we call somebody to pray with us. Some of us, we don't spend hours praying unless we go on YouTube. Some of us don't spend hours praying unless we go to church. Some of us don't spend hours praying unless we have a problem. Some of us don't spend hours praying unless you are in a difficult emotional situation. But how many times have you withdrawn by yourself just to go pray and seek God's face? Like, how many times? How many of you obey the command of HaMashiach? In Mark 6, verse 31 through 32, where it says, come with me by yourself to a quiet place and get some rest. How many of you obey this? Come with me by yourself to a quiet place and get some rest. How many of you do this? How many of you do this? How many of you only do things when the crowd does it, when the clique does it? This is an addiction. This is a sickness. It is not a good thing. It might look good because everybody's doing it and the purpose is good, but it is not good because you are creating conformity. You are creating uniformity. You are creating herd syndrome. You don't have a personal identity outside of the clique. You don't have a personal relationship with Yah outside of the assembly. And this is church again. This is religion again. This is customs and traditions of man again. When do you withdraw? When do you withdraw? Is the only time you withdraw from the crowd when you are tired? When you've overworked yourself? When you got beef with another sister? When you got a problem, somebody got on your nerves and you're taking rest because now, like, they got on your nerves too much. Now you can't really be part of the fellowship as much. Like, when you got strife with the brethren, when you got personal issues going on, when you're feeling depressed, when you're crying anxiety, when you're overstimulated or you're too busy to talk, when do you withdraw? When do you withdraw and go spend time with Yah? When do you go away and keep your eyes on HaMashiach and you speak to him and you say, Abba, speak to me. Show me things that I would not know. Give me a vision. Give me a dream. Take me up to the third Shamayim. Do you think that Yah has stopped giving visions? Do you think that Yah has stopped giving dreams? Do you think that Yah has stopped opening the eyes of his servants? It's just that many of us are not trustworthy because we have left the isolation too soon and we depended on the crowd too fast. How many times have you withdrawn solely and sincerely, simply for the reason to pray and spend time with Yah? How many times? How many times have you separated yourself from everybody and said, guys, I need time alone. It's nothing that you guys are doing wrong, but I need to hear Yah by myself. A lot of our people, I'm going to say, will be led to the slaughter because they don't spend time with Yah by themselves. A whole bunch of Yasharal will be cut off and they will be sliced meat because they don't spend time with Yah. I can see it. I see it every day. I see it. It bothers me. It grieves me. It disturbs me. Because we follow the crowd too much. Because we like company more than we love Yah. Because Yah is in the isolation. He is in the stillness. He is in the silence. He is in the silence of even friends, even of our own. We have to go away from Yah, withdraw from Yah. How many of you have willingly, slowly, sincerely withdrawn from Yah, from everybody, simply for the reason to spend time with Yah? All you wanted was to spend time with Yah. All you wanted was to hear the voice of your Abba. Listen, the crowd fakes perfection, okay? I'm keeping it 100 with you. The crowd fakes perfection. I'm telling you. I am telling you. There is a way that seems right to a man, but that way leads to death. Who is the knower of the heart? The heart is exceedingly deceptive. It is exceedingly evil. Only Yah knows it. So you could be looking at somebody and they seem holy. You could be listening to me and I seem holy and I am wicked because Yah knows my heart. So don't look at the crowd and think that they are righteous. Don't look at the crowd and say, wow, Yah is in the crowd. Yah is not in the crowd. Yah is in the isolation. And only a few from the crowd get selected out. The crowd fakes perfection. The isolation proves transformation. The crowd fakes perfection, but the isolation proves transformation. Are you being transformed? Are you being transformed, or are you walking with a form of power but denying the one who gives it? Are you walking with the unction that you think comes from Yah, or are you walking in spirituality again? The crowd fakes perfection. The isolation proves transformation. And again, a lot of the people that are in herds and in crowds don't know that they are in a herd. They don't know. The crowd makes you sick and weak, but the isolation makes you a fortified city and an iron pillar. The one who spends time with Yah is a fortified city, and he is an iron pillar. The crowd stirs emotion. The isolation causes the Ruach to stir in you. The crowd stirs emotion, but the isolation causes Yah's Ruach to be stirred in you. How many times has the Ruach been stirred in you? Or how many times have you been stirred by emotion? How many times? The crowd tells you what they believe Yah says. The isolation makes you know his voice. You don't have to believe what Yah says. You have to know it. There is a big difference. I am very big on verbiage. I am very big on verbiage. Belief can change at any time. I believe Yah said this. I believe Yah said that. I believed Yah said this. I believed Yah said that, but I guess he didn't. Because it didn't happen that way. I believe Yah said this. I believe Yah said that. I believe this. I believe that. Your belief can change today. Your belief can change in 2 seconds. What's 5 times 5? I believe it's 32. Until somebody comes and tells you, what is 5 times 5? And they show you the math and you say, I know it's 25. Your belief can change at any time. Your knowledge doesn't. Okay? The crowd tells you what they believe Yah says. The isolation makes you know his voice. The crowd makes you move in structure. The isolation makes you remain still in disorder and chaos. Okay? The crowd makes you move in structure. The crowd will make you move in structure, and because you see structure, you think it is Yah ordered, but it is not always that way. Look at schools. It's in structure, but it is indoctrination. Look at churches. It's structure, but it's indoctrination. The crowd tells you what they believe, Yah says. The isolation makes you know his voice. The crowd makes you move in structure, but the isolation makes you remain still in disorder and chaos. And that is what's upon this earth. That's what's coming upon everybody. And don't think because you are Yasharel, you will not see the chaos, you will not see the disorder. And that is why it is so important to not pay attention to the clique, but remain in isolation, because you will be stirred to go out in places that Yah did not send you to. The crowd is unified. The isolation sets apart. The crowd is unified. The isolation sets you apart. There is a storm that is coming, Yasharal. There is a storm that is coming, and many will be swept over, because if it is this part in time that you have not learned to respect Yah's isolation, then you will not be able to respect it when chaos comes. You will be triggered. You will have spidey senses that tell you go outside, that tells you follow the crowd, that tells you go here and go there. And in those here's and there's, there is no light. The shepherd has not gone. The shepherd is not there. There is a storm that is coming. And great will be the winds, great will be the storms, great will be the hail, the fire, the earthquakes, the pestilence, the winds, the gust of winds. Great will it be, and you will be swept under. This is the hour to go in isolation. This is the hour to close yourself up. This is the hour to yield to the Ruach of the Most High Yah. This is the hour to stop playing church, stop playing religion, because some of us have brought church into Yasharal. Some of us have brought church into the awakening. And we are now bench warmers again. We are now slowly and silently participating in customs and traditions and practices again. And the finer things are not being taken seriously, which is the isolation with the Most High Yah. So many people believe that they will be ready for what is coming, but they will be the first to cower down. So many people believe that they will be ready for what is coming, but they will be the first to be decimated, destroyed, eliminated, and erased. They will be the first to turn over. They will be the first to run into a wilderness that Hamashiach is not in. They will be the first to go out to a false prophet. They will be the first to create and practice the fake exodus. They will be the first, because they never took time to stay in a closet, literally, and hear Yah's voice. They will be the first, because they invested more in the building rather they invested in the architects. They spent more time investing in the pews rather than they spend time at the feet of the chief shepherd. They have invested more in the building blocks, in the stones, in the lumber, in everything that mattered less than the one who created it. There's a storm coming, after all. And some still don't know Yah's voice. Many still don't know Yah's voice. All you got is spidey senses. All you got is spidey senses. And because you got a little tingle, you say it is Yah's voice, but you don't know his voice truly. You don't recognize it. How can you recognize his voice when you don't shut everything off and spend time with your Alua? Withdraw for a minute. Withdraw for a while. In the stillness is the instruction. In the silence is the direction. But the clique and the crowd, they are the moving feet of human planning. But Yah calls his sheep alone and in isolation. I have never seen in my whole life, that Yah speaks to the crowd. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. If you've seen it, let me know, but I've never seen it. I've never seen it in real life. I've never seen it in the scriptures where Yah spoke to the whole crowd. I'm not talking about Moshe when they said, please don't let Yah speak to us because let the stones fall over, we'll surely die. I'm talking about speaking to them and giving them an instruction, and they all follow. But there was always one that Yah chose, and it was the one that respected isolation, and it was the one that felt lonely in the crowd, not lonely in the isolation. I see herd syndrome. I see flock syndrome. I see it. But who am I? I'm just a girl talking. But I see it. And I see danger. I see chaos. I see it. I can see it. And it bothers me and it grieves me and it causes me to spend hours talking by myself with Yah, and I can't stop because I see it. It bothers me. It grieves me. There's danger. How many of you has Yah said, remove your sandal, for the place in which you stand is holy ground? I'm not telling anybody to reject isolation, to reject fellowship. That's not what I'm saying. Don't put words in my mouth. What I am saying, though, is that I can see that many of us are very weak if we don't have a crowd. And though there are times when somebody lifts up your hands, and that is a good thing, but how about you let Yah lift up your hand first? Let Yah lift up your hand first. Let Yah carry you first. Because you will be tested. There are tests that are coming, and the tests will be great. They will be very great. They're great, guys. They're great. They are great, and some people won't pass it. They won't. I hope that problems is not the only thing that causes you to go into the secret place. I hope that depression and sadness is not the only thing that causes you to go into the secret place, but I hope that it is a true desire to want to know Yah, that causes you to go into the secret place. Because there is a time that is coming. It's going to be loud. You will hear people screaming in the streets. You will hear people crying in the streets. You will hear chaos. You will hear of rumors. You will hear and see the rumors come to pass before your very eyes. And if you never spent time with Yah, the first thing you hear that sounds like good advice, you are going to think is Yah. But what you are going to be doing is bringing yourself out to a graveyard. I encourage you to take down your weekly medicine intake of YouTubers. I encourage you to shut the TV off. I encourage you to sit down and have patience to just dwell in Yah's presence. I encourage you to ask Yah to examine you and truly want to be examined so Yah can show you you. I encourage you to even turn off the radio. You don't need to know the news. If Yah is speaking to you, He will tell you what is to come. I can tell you it. I guarantee it to you because I have tasted it and I have seen Yah's providence. I have seen Yah has shown me things before they've come to pass. All you have to do is sit down and close your eyes to everything and open your eyes to Him, because many are not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready. I can tell you. Though many of you think you are. This is the time to know the voice of your shepherd. This is the time. I've been thinking so hard and long about this. I've been thinking so long and hard about everything that is coming. And when I tell you the burden is heavy on me, I have anxiety not for me, because I am confident in Yah, and I am confident in the amount of time that I spend in Yah, with Yah, and the amount of time that I will continue to. I can see what Yah has done in the lives of many. But I also see and I smell the danger. And I'm hoping that you will be able to hear me and listen. When you feel fidgety, don't go on YouTube, please. Please don't go on YouTube. Please, people. Please don't go on YouTube. You don't even have to come listen to me, because I'm going to keep on talking for the person who wants to stay on YouTube. And if they come across my channel, I'm going to be saying the same thing. I'm going to say to them, get off of YouTube every day, every second. When you're bored, the first thing you do is open YouTube, open TikTok, open Facebook, open Instagram. But at least take 2 hours a day to just spend time with Yah. And at least take a whole day to close yourself off, even though it may seem impossible. I'm going to read this to you. Just 1 second. A lot of people, we are excited about what is coming. We are very excited that Abba Yah has awakened us and that he will deliver us. But a lot of us are jumping ahead of ourselves. And part of the reason why we're jumping ahead of ourselves is because we are listening to too many people. We're skipping middle parts. We're skipping parts that are life and death. You know, we're skipping parts that could save your life. Because we're so excited about what's coming that we're going to see what the news says, what other people have to say, what teachers have to say, that we are skipping middle parts. We're skipping important parts that are necessary for us to know and to be fully convinced of. And if it doesn't happen that way, at least you're safe. But if it does happen that way, you would have known how to deal with the situation. A lot of people are running ahead of themselves. I'm going to read a chapter in Zephaniah. Sorry, just 1 second, guys. I didn't have it. I didn't write it down to share, but I need to share it. I need to read it to you. I had a dream of this chapter, and it scared me a lot. Where someone came to me in a dream and said, "Have you read Zephaniah? Go and read Zephaniah. When you wake up, go and read it. Go and read it. Go and read it." And I did. I got up and I went to read it, and I was scared when I read it. And it was a specific part where it says, "Do not say that you wish for the day of Yahuwah to come. Do not say that you wish for the day of Yahuwah to come, because great and terrible is that day." Great and terrible is that day. It is a terrible day. I will read it starting from verse 12. Chapter 1, verse 12. "And at that time it shall be that I search Jerusalem with lamps and punish the men who are settled on their dregs, who say in their heart, Yahuwah does no good, nor does he evil. And their wealth shall become plunder, and their houses laid waste. And they shall build houses, but not inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards, but not drink their wine. Near is the great day of Yahuwah, near and hurrying greatly, the noise of the day of Yahuwah. Let the mighty man then bitterly cry out. That day is a day of wrath, a day of distress and trouble, a day of waste and ruin, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds, dense clouds, a day of ram's horn and alarm against the walled cities and against the corner towers. And I shall bring distress on men, and they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Yahuwah, and their blood shall be poured out like dust, and their flesh like dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of wrath of Yahuwah. And by the fire of his jealousy all the earth shall be consumed, for he makes a sudden end of all those who dwell in the earth. Gather together, O nation without shame. Before the decree is born, the day shall pass on like chaff. Before the burning wrath of Yahuwah comes upon you, before the day of wrath of Yahuwah comes upon you. Seek Yahuwah, all you meek ones of the earth, who have done his right ruling. Seek righteousness. Seek meekness, if so be that you are hidden in the day of wrath. Did you peep that? Gather together, O nation without shame, before the decree is born. The day shall pass on like chaff before the burning wrath of Yahuwah comes upon you. Before the day of wrath comes upon you. Seek Yahuwah, all you meek ones of the earth, who have done his right ruling. Seek righteousness. Seek meekness, if so be that you are hidden in the day of wrath of Yahuwah. Obviously, this was something that happened before, but it will happen again. And a lot of people are skipping this, and they are not spending time in Yah to recognize his voice, so that in the day of calamity, they are hidden. It is time to play hide and seek, people. It is time for you to hide and for you to seek Yah. It is time for you to hide and for you to seek Yah. Recognize his voice and be prepared for the day of adversity, for great is that day, there is none like it. And he who abides under the shadow of the Almighty. Do you know that, Tehillim? Do you understand that, Tehillim? Or are we just reading scripture just because it sounds nice? It sounds good. We say it and we don't understand. We're not reading what the scenario is. Why is this being written? What is this about? He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, who abides under the shadow of El Shaddai. He is saying of Yahweh, my refuge and my stronghold, my Alua, in whom I trust. For he delivers you from the snare of a trapper, from the destructive pestilence. He covers you with his feathers, and under his wings you take refuge. Close yourself up, Yasharal, because you have to cleave to him, and you can only do that in the secret place. So I hope that you don't forget what I said. If you forget anything, don't forget this part, which is to dwell in the isolation of Yah. It is a good place to be, because that is where Yah speaks the loudest, and you are able to recognize his voice. So next Shabbat, we're just gonna pray and worship. I want to help lead us in worship. You know, I love to worship. I love to sing to Yah. I find my deliverance in that a lot. So I'm asking that next Shabbat, you come with a heart of worship. And let's seek Yah's face together. And then when we're done, keep on seeking his face and make a commitment. Make a commitment to seek his face every day for an hour at least, starting at least an hour. And then go up to 2. And stop multiple times throughout the day. When you say Barak Yahuwah, literally go on your knees and bow and say Barak Yahuwah. Put your face to the ground. The Muslims do it. They use their body to worship Allah. What about us, whose Alua is true and real and lives and exists and is and was and forever will be? Prostrate on the ground if you can. And when you say Yada Yahuwah, lift up your hand to the Shamayam and say it. Humble yourself. Dance by yourself in your house to Yah. These things that we've read aren't just stories where Dawood danced before Yah. where you're just dancing and praising. No more religion. No more, no more, no more of it. But a real relationship with Yah, where you know He's real. You know that you know He's not just a blob of gas. He's not a blob of light. He's not a blob of splendor. He exists. He sits on a throne. He speaks. He hears. He is. So let's get ready for the things that are to come. But dwell in the secret place so that you can recognize your master's voice. Because when it gets loud, you're not going to want to have spidey senses. You're going to want to know that it's Him speaking. Hallelujah. Where He leads me, I will follow. Where He leads me, I will follow. Where He leads me, I will follow. I'll go with Him, all the way. With His grace and His mercy. With His grace and His mercy. With His grace and His mercy, I'll go with Him, all the way. With His grace and His mercy. With His grace and His mercy. With His grace and His mercy, I'll go with Him, all the way. Wherever you are right now, if you're able, I encourage you to just lift up your hands, both your hands if you're able, and say, Yada Yahuwah. I praise you, Yahuwah. With your hands, praise your Alua, and commit to spending time with Him. Commit to spending time with Him. You say that you love Him. You say that you honor Him. You say that you are ready, that you won't do what your ancestors did. You say that you will seek His face. You said that these nations were the ones that made you turn against Yah. What's stopping you now? What's stopping you now from seeking Yah's face? What's stopping you now from being obedient? What's stopping you now from being in Yah's presence? What's stopping you from entering into the closet? Who's arrested you? Who's deceiving you still? Who is blocking you from being able to take time out and dwell in isolation? Just lift your hands and say, Yada Yahuwah, I commit, Abba Yah, to 1 hour to 2 hours with you. I commit to waking at least once in the night, Abba Yah. I will sacrifice my sleep so that I can get closer to you and recognize your voice. I commit to you. I commit to going on YouTube only on Wednesdays and Saturdays and Thursdays, and I will spend time with you. I commit, Abba Yah, to giving you more than I have ever given to you. I am tired of religion. I am tired of spiritualism. I am tired of doing the bare minimum, and I am tired of doing more than you have asked me to do. I'm tired of going into the secret place only when it was convenient for me. I am tired of seeking your face only when I am depressed. I am tired of going and seeking your face only when I got a problem, only when I need something. I'm sorry for abusing you and using your presence for what I can get for a quick second. Barak Yahuwah. I barak you, Abba. I barak you, Abba. I barak you, Abba. Forgive us, Abba, for bringing religion again into the awakening. Forgive us, Abba Yah, for being creatures of habit who like what we like and still have itchy ear syndrome. Forgive us, Abba, for running to the crowd for prayer as opposed to the secret place with you for refuge. We say that the name of Yahuwah is a strong tower, the righteous run into it and they are saved. But we don't run to you unless somebody's with us, Abba. Forgive us. Forgive us. Forgive us, Abba Yah. Have mercy on us. Let's just worship a little bit. And make a commitment today. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Be sure that you are a precious stone that Yah chooses. Because many are the bad stones, but very few are the gems that Yah is pleased by. You are worthy, Abba Yah. Praise is what I do when I wanna be close to you. I lift my voice in worship. 'Cause praise is what I'll give. I will offer if I lift my voice in reverence. 'Cause praise is what I do when I wanna be close to you. I lift my voice in worship. 'Cause praise is what I'll give. I will offer it while I live. I lift my voice in worship. I will worship. I will worship. I will worship you. I will worship. I will worship. I will worship. I will worship you. Oh, please order my steps in your word, dear Yah. Lead me, guide me every day. Send your Ruach, Father, I pray. Order my steps in your word. Please order my steps in your word. Order my steps in your word, oh yeah. Lead me, guide me every day. Send your Ruach on me, I pray. Order my steps in your word. Order my steps. Abba, order my steps. Order my steps in your word. Order my steps in your word, oh yeah. Order my steps in your word. Order my steps in your word, oh yeah. Lead me, guide me every day. Send your Ruach on me, I pray. And order my steps in your word. Order my steps in your word. Order my steps. Order my steps. Order my steps in your word. Order my steps. Order my steps. Order my steps in your word. 'Cause when the oceans rise and thunders roar, I will soar with you above the storm. Father, you are king over the flood. I will be still and know you are Yah. I will be still and know you are Yah. Find rest, my soul, in Yah alone. Know his power in quietness and trust. 'Cause when the oceans rise and thunders roar, I will soar with you above the storm. Father, King over the flood, I will be still and know you are Yah. I will be still, know you are Yah. 'Cause when the oceans rise and thunders roar, I will soar with you above the storm. Father, you are king over the flood. I will be still and know you are Yah. I will be still and know you are Yah. How many of us will be still in the midst of destruction, in the midst of chaos, in the midst of calamity, and in the midst of the stillness, and say, I will be still, Abba Yah, and I will know that you are Yah. Be not weary, O my soul. Be not weary, O my soul, and wait on Yah. Trust in Yah. Abide in Yah. Cleave to Yah. And follow him. Because where you lead me, I will follow, even in isolation, even in loneliness, even when everybody is going in one direction and many will go in one direction. I won't be afraid being the one that stands out. I won't be afraid being the one that does not follow the crowd. I will not be the one who chases after everybody, but I will wait. I will wait for your cloud by day and your pillar of fire by night. I will wait for your still small voice to be heard. After the earthquake and after the fire, I will be still. I will be still because I love you, Yah, and I lift my voice to honor, oh my soul, rejoice. Take joy, my King, in what you hear, and let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. No superficial worship. Just you and Yah in the stillness, in that secret place. Abba Yah, we come before you. We give you thanks for all that you have done. Thank you, Abba, that you don't always leave us in deception. You never leave us in deception. I ask, Father, that you will take joy in me, that I've cried aloud and I've spared not. And if I have offended Abba Yah, let it be to correction and not to death. I ask Abba Yah that you would allow your people to understand Abba Yah, not with their heads, but with their hearts, Abba Yah, with their kidneys, with their innermost being, to wait on you, to trust in you, to abide with you, to not be a people pleaser, Abba Yah, but to be pleasing you, and you will bring us together. You will gather us, Abba Yah. You will gather us to the like-minded ones, to the ones who seek your face too. I ask that you will make us not afraid to back away from everyone for a little while, to withdraw for a little while so we can spend time with you, Father. Like Esther is eating the flowers. Like Jeremiah, Abba Yah, who was alone, Father. Like Ezekiel, like Yahushua, like all of the men of old who feared you and who revered you, Abba Yah. Let us not be afraid of isolation. because then we have vision. And we can say, yeah, I look to you. You where my help comes from. Give me vision to know just what to do. Yeah, I look to you. You are my helping hand. Give me vision, and I'll know what to do. Yeah, I look to you. You're where my help comes from. Give me vision to know just what to do. Yeah, I look to you. You are my helping hand. Give me vision. Help us to see, Abba, Yah, and know what to do. Hallelujah, Yahweh reigns. And hallelujah, Yahweh reigns. Hallelujah, Yahweh reigns. Forever all my days. Hallelujah. Forever my days. Hallelujah. Abba, give us vision in the stillness, in the silence, in the darkness, in the withdrawal of the world, and in the fellowship with you. Thank you, Father, for the privilege you've given us to be here this day. Thank you, Abba Yah, that you have not utterly forsaken us. Thank you, Abba Yah, for your provision, for your providence, for your protection. Be with your people, Baba. Lead them according to your will and according to your desire and according to your good pleasure. Reveal to those whom you have called, Abba Yah, to not be stiff-necked, to not be stubborn, but to follow you, to submit to you, to humble themselves in you, to respect the isolation, so that they may be pruned and prepared and refined and transformed according to your image and your likeness. Be exalted, Abba Yah. Be lifted high. Be magnified. To the Rabbah for your goodness. To the Rabbah for your faithfulness. For even in our unfaithfulness, you remain faithful. And may it be that surely your goodness and your mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives, and we will dwell in the house of the Most High Yah, for always and forevermore. In the name of Yahusha, in the name and the authority of our Mashiach, so be it, and be it so. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I hope that you remember and that you've made a commitment to serve Yah. Thank you for staying with me this long. And I hope that you are encouraged. You're not afraid of the things that are coming. Don't be afraid, but be ready, be prepared. And if you go in the secret place, you will be filled with eagerness and joy. You will be filled with eagerness and joy and confidence, because you won't have to try and figure out Yah's voice. You don't have to try and figure out if you really know him, if you've really heard him, or is it just you, or is it your feelings, or is it your emotions? Because you spent so much time with Yah, you will know him. You will know him. If you spend enough time with Yah, you will know him. When somebody says, go to the left, You're gonna say, Yah said, be still. When somebody says, go to the right, Yah is in the right. You will say, Yah said, be still. When they say, go to the north, you will say, Yah said, be still. And when they say, Yah said, be still, you say, Yah said, it's time to go. But that's what kind of confidence you will get when you spend time in Yah's presence. And nobody can tell you what Yah says. Because you are Yah's sheep and you know his voice. And you will not be led to the slaughter. And though there is plague and fire and calamity and destruction and gusts of winds and tornadoes and hurricanes and earthquakes and volcanoes all around, your eyes are on Hamashiach, and all other ground is sinking sand. Yada Yahuwah. So be it. And
faithfully, my eyes are on you. They're always on you. Time is almost up. It's almost time for us to go now, go now. But we gotta finish up this final round. Are you ready to prevail now? Meditate on all the promises he has for you. Hold tight to the covenant and standing true. You've got the victory. Hide under the shadow of his wings and say, Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I am waiting. I am waiting. I am waiting. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I am waiting. I am waiting. I am waiting. I will always wait on you, even when the waves get high. Gold is tried by fire and silver is refined. I'm trusting in your promise and I'm gonna make it through these times. I'll keep on waiting on you. I'm waiting patiently on your deliverance. You haven't forgotten. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I am waiting. I am waiting. I am waiting. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I'm waiting for you. Abba, I am waiting. I am waiting. I am waiting. Faithfully, my eyes are on you. Faithfully, my eyes are on you. I ain't looking to the left or to the right. I ain't following you. You are always on my mind. Faithfully, faithfully.